How can I help you, Ensign?
Personal question for you, sir, if you don't mind my asking. When you have to win a man's affections over the course of a mission, does it bother you?
Are you worried about having to seduce an asset?
I'm not entirely certain. Don't mistake me, I've been involved with plenty of the wrong men, but going in there was always the chance they'd work out. I don't know how I'd make that connection if I knew it wouldn't last. Or if I had someone waiting back home.
Don't put your life on hold in the name of duty.
But duty always comes first, doesn't it? At least I have my parents as an example. Happily married Cipher agents, so far as I ever knew.
That doesn't surprise me. Intelligence might have encouraged the partnership.
And isn't it lovely when our professional and personal lives meet? Thank you for your honesty, sir. You won't regret these sessions.
What's going on, Ensign?
Sir, Dr. Loken's been filling in the gaps in my education. He has quite a few stories. Here's what puzzles me. I've always been taught to respect the chain of command, and yet you... How does anyone control a field agent?
Placing an operative in the field is always a risk. If you don't trust someone's judgment, you don't send him out.
What sort of judgment, though? You can't make operational decisions from the front line.
All you can do is respond to each situation, right or wrong.
And live with the consequences. I don't want to do wrong, sir. My father ignored an edict from the Sith, and instead of facing his punishment, he ran. I won't repeat his mistake. Accidentally.
What did your father do that was so terrible?
I'd rather not discuss it. Refusing to do his duty was enough. I'll stop troubling you about this. Back to the job, then. Sir, I just had a talk with Vector. Not something I do often, but I think I'm getting used to the eyes. When I was a little girl, the only aliens I ever saw were the cussed city slaves. Now we see stranger things every day.
There are benefits to a job like ours.
Shame we're not allowed to take pictures. Anyway, I want to get more combat practice in before tomorrow. Talk soon?
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Forgive me, but as your sole medical officer, I have to point out that your eating habits have been less than satisfactory lately. Now, I'll take my share of the blame. I've been preoccupied making calls, catching up on what I've missed in the intelligence community. Still, the fact that people are trying to kill me does not excuse my neglect of your health.
Any leads on the people who came after you on Balmora?
I've identified one of the assassins as an operative for Colonel Langor, a man with ties to the Imperial Science Bureau. The Bureau is also the likely origin of the other dead men whose genetic structure had been mutated. Weaponized humans.
What do you mean, weaponized humans? What's the Science Bureau doing?
Military research is the Bureau's purpose. Making humans stronger, faster, is one approach. Which reminds me, I'd like your permission to run some tests on Master Vector. I'm rather curious about a joiner's physiology, and Vector is keen to learn more about himself.
If it won't cause harm, I don't have any objections.
Wonderful. I'll let him know the good news. And of course, I'll keep you apprised.
You wanted something, Vector?
We do not neglect our duties. We are Dawn Herald. We do this for the Nest. Agent, we've had another request from Fulner Eth, our ally inside the diplomatic service. We need to take a short leave.
I heard you talking to the emissaries of the Nest. Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. The distance from our kin is unusual and causes rifts. Fulner's stock is rising, but he needs further acclaim before he can push for a Killik Imperial Alliance. He's asked us to visit a former Republic governor named Yogana Thanoth and win his cooperation by turning him into a joiner.
So you're supposed to strip a man of his individuality and make him part of the Nest?
We'd hoped Fulner wanted us for our diplomatic skills, not for this. The joining should be a gift, but we will find a way.
You know this isn't right. Don't do it, Vector.
We appreciate your concern. We ask that you trust our decision.
You're back. Did you find your man?
We spoke to the Republic Governor. If you'll join us, we'll report the details to Fulner Eth.
My friends, it's been too long.
Falna, we assume you've heard from Thenoth.
He contacted me from an Imperial transport. Apparently we promised to work with him. Not what I requested, but the service can make do.
There was no need to make him a joiner when he was amenable to discussion.
Your reputation in the diplomatic service is secure. Now, about our request.
You kept your promise. Thenoth's assistance resulted in my promotion. I will keep my promise to you. Some important people are waiting, Vector. They're very interested in a potential Killik alliance.
You arranged this?
As soon as I knew we could work together. Check the data I'm streaming to your main console.
Thank you, Falna. Excuse us a moment, Agent.
It's like talking to a bug wearing a man's skin. I don't know how you stand it.
I don't understand. You helped him.
We're practical people, and we take the tools we're given. But those creatures are anathema to everything the Empire stands for. There's no place for great men in a hive mind. Only animal instinct. I'll be relieved when you people finish this scheme and get rid of the colony for good.
Agent, they listened. They don't understand yet, but they listened. The diplomatic service has requested my aid and wants to initiate relations with the colony.
Listen, Falna Eth is keeping his deal, but he's repulsed by Killiks. We can't trust him.
He admits it? We always did get an odd sense from him. It's out of his hands now, though. We should watch him, but we'll be focused on the future. Agent, we received a small gift from the diplomatic service in appreciation of our work with the Killiks. A package of wine, meat and breadfruit, all imported from the colony worlds. Not inexpensive, and a bit extravagant during wartime.
The diplomatic service must be happy with you. Maybe you'll get your Killik treaty after all.
Maybe, but we'd rather they treated us as one of their own, not as a foreigner to be won over. In the meantime, you're welcome to help yourself. We may as well enjoy the taste of progress.
What do you have for me?
Encouraging news. Watch.
Dawn Herald, forgive the message, but our emissaries were out of reach and we couldn't wait to link with you. Imperial scout ships entered colony space and made contact yesterday. We traded in Membrosia, Silk, and star maps. We could smell the men's fright, but they left in peace. Perhaps you were right after all.
A long way from a signed treaty, but it's a start.
It looks like your work is paying off.
So far. We're in touch with the diplomatic service as well. There's still resistance, but we're progressing. Killiks and Imperials may share space in our lifetime.
I have completed analysis of my restraining codes. Although I cannot leave or cause you direct harm, I'm under no obligation to obey your commands.
You may be stuck with me, but we don't have to be enemies.
Then you may aid my core functionality. I intend to proceed with my heuristic directive of self-improvement and intelligence upgrades. Cooperate willingly, and I may spare you pain when I am free.
You expect me to let you become more dangerous?
Personal evolution is my primary purpose. This self-iteration is number 973, and there will be more. Do not anger me unnecessarily.
I admit, I'd like to see what happens when you learn.
Hope for the privilege. Perhaps you will earn it.
Watcher 6 to Cipher 9. You have accessed Node 803A of the Titan Rings HoloNet archive. Transmitting mission parameters.
This is Watcher 7. Download data fragments from assigned terminals so we can encrypt and reconstruct the Conspirator communication.
This is Watcher 9.
We have authorization to terminate anyone who interferes. It is our privilege to work with you.
I require better targets. These ones believe they can defeat me.
Accessing first data fragment. Applying preliminary decryption algorithm.
Got the call, but make it quick. I don't want to be missed.
93% likelihood speaker is designate Hunter.
Proceed with the operation, Cipher 9. We will continue reconstruction attempts.
Believe they can defeat me. The target has been obliterated.
Accessing second data fragment. Modifying decryption algorithm.
This will, of course, be my final appearance at these gatherings, but the galaxy I leave behind.
No voice print identification available. Reconstruction incomplete.
Always believe they can defeat me. Acquire better targets. The target has been obliterated.
Accessing third data fragment. Attempting playback.
My sympathies. With the old man lost, the next enforcer will be difficult to train.
Experiencing data corruption. We will hope the last fragment provides redundancy.
Acquire better targets.
Accessing fourth data fragment. Splicing now.
I am here. All is ready.
This is Keeper. Cipher, get out of there. Reinforcements are on the way, and there's nothing more you can do.
You're sure you have the full recording?
Hard to be certain, but we think so. The Watchers will try to reconstruct the holoconference back at headquarters. Come to Drummond Cars as soon as possible, and we'll figure out our next move. Keep it out.
Your vital functions improve. Defeat me. The body has been obliterated. Far better targets.
Utilize fractal thought pattern 27. Reanalyze.
Come in. They're reconstructing the Conspirators holoconference now.
Anything turn up so far?
Preliminary analysis bears out our theory. The call was initiated by Hunter, somewhere in the Bremer sector 6 months ago. The recording you pulled is intact, but... Watcher 9?
Splicing and decryption complete.
Rules of the Chorus Covenant, I call this meeting to order.
Spare us the corporate posture and report.
Since you're in a hurry, Senator Varala and Representative Shuru are predictable as always.
And Commodore?
All taken care of. What about you? Those earnest Padawans keeping you up at night?
Different participants on different data streams. Processing. There's Hunter. What about the others?
I don't know.
Domain is unsettled, as we expected. I must again raise the concern. Do we overplay our hand?
There is the chance it will spin out of control. Darth Angral, Darth Barris, now the children are awakening.
For each, there is a Republic counterbalance.
We're letting loose the reins, but we're not taking off their blinders. Sit back and enjoy the spectacle.
However much power they've got, they see their plan as a risk.
To bicker. Each of us agreed to the timetable. Each of us reports success in our own sphere.
Ambition must never be our master. Patience serves our noble cause best. But if our enforcer approves...
I do, I swear.
Then we move forward to Armageddon.
Keeper, the War Council needs you. Sir?
Call for a medic. Go!
Yes, sir.
What's our status?
Keeper and the others are on life support. Fixers theorized the transmission had a hidden overlay. A code or image only a genetically enhanced mind could recognize. Designed to overwhelm and shut down the brain.
They knew it would take an enhanced mind to find the data. This was insurance against that possibility.
Losing this many analysts, forget about Keeper. It's going to be a blow to the war. I'll support you where I can, but right now I've got a few dozen field agents without handlers. Your operation?
Take care of your people, Watcher 3. I'll proceed on my own.
While you were on Belsavis, Keeper was compiling leads on the planet Voss. If you want to head there, I'll see what I can pull up. I've apprised the Minister of Intelligence. If he needs to contact you, he knows how.
I'm disappointed they didn't share that trap with me on Belsavis. I would be interested in developing it further.
Cipher, hope you don't mind my checking in. You weren't expecting any other calls?
Why are you contacting me, Hunter?
Your visit to Mega Security Ward 23 left it in bad shape. Now do I come into your house and break your things? But you finding that holotrap? Frying your keeper's synapses? That's kind of cosmic justice.
Once I find you and your bosses, you won't be smirking anymore.
Cipher, it's been fun. Playing tag, brainwashing you. Remember your keyword? But you keep coming, and we'll destroy your world. No friends, no allies, no empire left to fight for. Are you ready for that?
You're assuming I don't stop you first. This is Cipher 9 to crew. Prepare for takeoff. Something I can help you with, Ensign?
I was hoping you could increase my security clearance, sir. At least long enough so I could know about my promotion.
I'd be happy to help, but there are forms to sign, background checks to run.
I'm more patient than you'd expect. I'm pleased to say that I finished, as best I can, putting myself through the Imperial Intelligence training regimen, save the psychological tests. With your help, I'm now almost qualified to be here. Thank you.
You're a fine operative. You should be proud.
I am proud, sir. I thought you could tell.
My good friend, have you noticed that the price of Dianogan tea has risen considerably since we broke the Treaty of Coruscant? One of the costs of war you never anticipate. And now my jamming device is working, so we can dispense with the inanities.
You're not usually this cautious. What's going on?
Thanks to a now wealthy Kubaz information broker, I've identified the people who want me dead. They represent an organization called Project Protean, a secret research and development group inside the Imperial Science Bureau.
You are good at this game. Give me the details.
Protean researches practical applications of alien biology. You recall the genetically modified assassins who came after me? They're only the beginning. Imagine troops spliced with Abyssin genes to enhance healing, or adrenals derived from Gamorrean hormones. Most test subjects don't fare well, but you can see the potential.
That sounds awfully like what you were doing on Taris.
There's a great deal of interdepartmental rivalry in our work, and my research does overlap with theirs. They may have targeted me in order to ensure that they have no competition, inside or outside the Empire.
This is your operation. What's our next step?
Further study, I'm afraid. Right now, I'm unsure where the project is based or how to contact its members, but I wanted to keep you apprised. Now, about that Dianogan tea.
I've learned to access your culture's holographic network. Listen. $18 trillion desperate attempts to communicate per second. I hadn't realized your species were so starved for interaction.
What have you discovered, sifting through those transmissions?
I now understand your frustrations. I look at you and see neurons fire in your brain. I scan your body and know how you taste. But you're blind, alone, and confused.
If you're so far beyond biological creatures, what's the point of analyzing them?
You dominate the galaxy. I'm curious, and do not sleep. Our time together has provided new information and sensations. These will prove useful in a future upgrade.
What's going on?
Agent, in our work with the diplomatic service, we find ourselves talking to people we once knew. We've been contemplating this.
Hello, Vector. It's Honora. I don't know if you remember me, but Bryson said he thought you would, and I wanted to talk to you. I know things didn't end well, but I never forgot. You need to get out of there. Come back to Drummond Cast and we'll get you help. We can undo what the Killiks did. There are still people who care about you.
We've watched it 17 times and meditated to the static.
You two used to be a couple.
We were nearly engaged to Honora very long ago. We never considered that there are people who want us restored to what we were. But watching this, feeling nothing, we know we're no longer who we were when we loved her.
If you could be restored, would you want it?
No. We had to know if our reaction was unnatural, but we don't think it is. We are content.